Oh, hello. I sounded surprised because I just came from a rooftop place, and I walked around a bit, and somehow I wound up near the train, and I pushed record, and the name of the rooftop, well, it was confusing. It was all of them were on the 60th floor, these different establishments. But one of them was called Sky High, and I just started recording, and the name of the recording is Sky High, but I didn't think I was anywhere near that. I don't know. It just feels fun. Okay. I had no intention of recording. I actually need to catch a train very, very shortly. And my battery is getting low, but I was just, like I said, at this rooftop place with my friend. The views were just we were both just like, oh my God, wow. I haven't been to a rooftop place, I guess, too recently, and it was just, it almost felt like the first time. I heard that song the other day, It Feels Like the First Time. I forget who sings that, Blue Oyster Cult or something, maybe, I can't remember. But that song's coming through randomly. Anyway, so the 60th floor, both of us, my friend and I, were sneezing and having congestion. It was so interesting, and ear elevation, pressure shifting experiences. And my friend had literally 8 sneezes in a row. And on the 8th one, I just saw a flash of a jackpot in 777. And I was like, we should go play the lottery or something. I literally just saw 777 and a jackpot. And then we left maybe 20 minutes later, and the first car parked outside was a license plate with 777. And I was like, there you go. I don't know what's going on. And she left, and I needed to wait for the train, so I just started walking around. Speaking of nostalgia, so I'm in my hometown where I'm from in Philly, and I haven't been here in a while. And there's this new bodega place or something. I don't know. I just was looking for a place to go, and I was like, I know there's nothing around here, but let me just wander a bit. And there's a new place, and I was like, wow, look at that. Anyway, I walked in, and they had something from when I was a kid, Jack's Cheese Curls. Does anyone remember this? I feel like people do not, whenever I bring it up, which isn't that often, but Jax, Jack's Cheese Curls. I mean, they are literally filled with crap, and everything against what I believe in is good for your body is not in those, but it was still very nostalgic for me, and it was a small bag, and I haven't had them in years, and I loved them when I was a kid, and I was like, I'm getting a bag of these, and I did, and I ate them, and I was cracking up, because I'm I know how terrible these are for you, but at the same time, how scary and or amazing. They tasted exactly the same as I remember them. I mean, yes, GMO, gross, but also it was so delicious. Anyway, there's this paradoxical energy. I know that's a very silly example, but right now I feel so wealthy, emotionally, and in gratitude, but yet also not so wealthy. I'm feeling very polarized right now, and I just feel there's a collective energy perhaps of this in some way. It doesn't have to be those examples, but it's yeah, there's just something coming through. There's also just a quick, very quick, what is the word I'm looking for? Yeah, I just got to go to this place, very unexpected. This, I said, the rooftop place. It was just honestly so beautiful. Just being in there, I was just I've been daydreaming about being in a place like this again. And I physically, I just didn't feel great. It's winter where I am. I haven't been in winter in a while, I feel and I don't know. I've just been sleeping a lot, and I felt I was sleeping. I was so out of my body, actually. I ordered a beverage, and I dropped a quarter of it on the bar. I was just being so it was such a weird energy, very Neptunian, Piscean, Venusian, but then also this shadowy, this dichotomy of light and shadow, and luxury and exhaustion. I don't know. It's just a very very weird energy, and I just wanted to tap in for a moment. Like I said, I do have to end this, so I have phone battery and I have to get to my train, but yeah, this just felt more like just like a quick tap in, and my left eyebrow is lighting up as I say this. So something that's been coming through a lot that I call the Hellllo frequency, like the angelic aspects of ourselves, like reunification of fragmented sort of like auric signatures that are like coming back in and falling away of what no longer serves. So it's like this very, like I said, polarizing energy. So if anyone else is experiencing this, I just more wanted to just tap in and say, like, I feel you, and there's much more to come. And it just feels like a ride the wave moment, you know? All right, thank you. I just ended and I checked the time. I have like 2 minutes, but I wanted to say a big part of what inspired me to record. I actually couldn't remember as I was recording, and as soon as I stopped, I was like, oh my God. So I kept seeing, like I mentioned 777, and then I saw like 666, 6666, like cabs, and 22222 so many times, like in a very short period. Like all day there's been stints of me seeing those numbers. So you could be seeing those numbers. The unconditional love template is coming through, as well as the word alignment. But so I sat down in front of the train steps because it's like underground, just for a moment to like kind of just sit in the air and get a moment of solitude. It must have been, I don't know, a minute or two into me sitting. And I've sat on these steps many times, taking this train before. And I do notice that, again, there's like another new place that I hadn't seen before. I'm not even sure what it is, but it looks like it's some sort of studio, a gallery studio that brings in a lot of money, essentially. I see coins, I see the word gallery, treasures, etc. And I was kind of like looking at it, but you know, I just sat down and like a group of people walked by, and one of the women like looked at me and was like, this girl don't even know how much wealth she's sitting on these steps right there. Kind of like being mean to me, actually, but I just like giggled and was like, okay. And like, one, she doesn't know that, like she doesn't know what I know. That's fine. But it was just more like after seeing that 777 energy, and my friend and I both like getting clogged up and then sneezing a lot. Like there's something about this like purging, you know, clearing, like they say also like sneezing on the truth. Like there's, when I saw that jackpot energy, you know, and then like someone a few minutes later, like I left my friend, came and sat on the steps like 10 minutes later, and I don't know how many minutes, 10, 20, and someone saying that phrase, like it just felt so like, you know, one of those moments where like someone says something and it's like, you need to hear that. Like you don't know how much wealth you're sitting on. You know, it's like, I just needed to record about that because it just felt so like this needs to be rippled out into the quantum, into the fields, you know. So, okay, thank you so much. And that is where I'm leaving it. So I'm recording this. My voice is like, yeah, I'm going through some sort of like congestion, and I slept and I woke up and it's still there. And I was saying, I can't remember if I said it's already in the recording, but my friend that I was with was sneezing and I was congested when we got to this place on the 60th floor I was speaking of. And she messaged me this morning that she's still sneezing, and I woke up and I'm still congested. So yeah, there could be something about like elevation, because she also was, had just come from a place near mountains. So she was higher in elevation and going through like a little bit of elevation sickness. I'm just realizing this. And I was also, last week near the mountains, elevated, and someone I was with was getting like an elevation headache, or a few people. And then, yeah, I'm just like connecting dots right now. And then there were
a transmission or two I recorded a few days ago, and the word, like, I believe elevation actually was coming up, like something in your life is being elevated. And of course, when that happens, they say, like, we need to make room, right? Physically, mentally, emotionally. And I had this dream last night where there was a lot going on, but the one part in the dream that's standing out in correlation to what I'm speaking of now, there was this backyard that I was at where I used to go when I was a kid all the time. And it was my parents' friend's backyard. And it was just like they entertained for like every holiday, and like we all went, and it was just like one of those places, like, I don't know, it's just memorable to me, I suppose. I just love their backyard. And I was like sort of in their backyard, but you know, sometimes dreamscapes can be a bit different than this reality. So it wasn't exactly identical, but it was similar. Someone here could be like an identical twin, or there's something about twins coming through. I just felt that. Siamese twins. I saw a hairless cat yesterday on someone's shoulder in like a very public place. And I always think of like Siamese twins. I don't know. There's something about that. Anyway. Oh, now I'm being shown Escape to Witch Mountain. Oh my God, I forgot about the movie. I loved that movie when I was a kid. Which I believe there were the main characters, I believe, were twins, a boy and a girl. And they came from, you know, like a binary star system. And that was one of their clues. I actually have a transmission called Binary Stars. So there could be messages in there for someone. But right, so making space for elevation. And in the dream, a tree was like knocked over into a pool, like a pool of water. And there was a windstorm here not that long ago where I am. And it's really interesting because I think the day before the wind started, it was either the morning of or the night before, I was talking to my mom, and I think I was reading some cards for her for fun, and the wind kept coming through, and I was like, something's up with the wind. I didn't see the weather or anything. I just kept saying, like, something's going on with wind. Like, I kept getting synchronicities about wind. And then this windstorm happened like the next day or that day. And my friend, who was in a different state, also experienced extreme wind. Anyway, so in the dream last night, it was like, you know, the wind knocked the tree over. And I was laying there and I was thinking, like, okay, trees can represent like stability, foundation, and water, you know, like the emotional body. So there could be some like instability emotionally going on right now, you know, some wind going on, kind of cleansing and clearing. Like, you know, wind can be like really helpful for cleansing and clearing, but it can also be like a bit destructive, right? So there's that dichotomy that I was talking about. Excuse me. So yeah, the word elevation. And when I was on the train last night coming back, right after I recorded about I'm recording this transmission in like piecemeal. So it was like, you know, maybe a half an hour after I recorded the first two legs. And I just happened to like look out the window of the train. It was nighttime and I couldn't really see much. And one of the stops, I just saw the sign that was like literally lit up and said billionaire. And I was like, what is going on? Yeah, like right after I was speaking of like sitting on wealth, and then I see this lit up sign that says billionaire. And I remember maybe like 2020, I don't know, I went through this phase where I would sing that song in the shower a lot. I Want to Be a Billionaire. I forget who sings it. I'm not sure why that's coming through. But yeah, I'm not even 100% sure like what this message is, other than like, yeah, elevation, knowing your own worth, and like believing in yourself. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to mean like, okay, you're going to be like a billionaire in monetary value. I mean, maybe that's some of you have that desire. And this could just be like, continue believing in yourself, you know, if that's something that you want to experience, or you really feel that deep desire within you. But yeah, I know that like in my own personal life right now, I'm, you know, just taking it one step at a time, but my stability is very, you know, rooted in the self, but in the external world, it's definitely not rooted, or at least like from the naked eye or from like the average just like view. So yeah, there's definitely something, you know, going on the 60th floor last night, like getting that like view of the city. It's actually like it was a beautiful experience because, you know, like I said, I'm from here where I am right now, and growing up I just like couldn't wait to leave. So then having that experience to go like really high up and see how beautiful everything like looked from like up above, you know, there's something about like the aerial view, like birds could be significant, like getting the full picture, the bigger picture is what I meant to say. Okay. Just sort of like every time I go to end a leg of this transmission, I feel like it's still so open-ended. Like I feel like I haven't even really said anything, but like I'm just trusting the frequency that is transmitting right now, and I can like feel it so deeply, but like I don't quite have the words for everything yet. So yeah, you may be in a state similar, or maybe you're entering into that soon. It's been pretty cloudy here, and the sun is like shining through the window right now, and I just realized that it's sunny because there's like a blackout shade. So yeah, there's something about that symbology, like I was saying, this like dark and light, this blackout shade, and then this like beaming sunshine after days of not really seeing the sun, you know, to end this reading. Like it feels really significant in this transmission. Okay, thank you.